welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber rGold, and this is Ancient Cellarspawn Tempo. Ancient Cellarspawn is a card from Duskmourn Commander Edition. This is one of those cards that comes straight to the Legacy hands and nobody else really gets to play with it. 1 black 3/3. Enchantment creature -horror. Each spell you cast that's a demon, horror, or nightmare costs 1 less to cast, and whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, target opponent loses life equal to the difference. We've seen this trick before. First of all, Vial Smasher the Fierce is a card that has existed for several years now, and Legacy players basically had all the same conversations when this came out. We got both of them here. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. Vial Smasher the Fierce deals 4 damage, or deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to that player or a planeswalker they control. Vial Smasher, the first spell counts no matter what it is. Ancient Cellarspawn, every spell counts, but only if you cast it for less than its mana value. A little bit different, but serving the same purpose here. Basically a 3 mana permanent that provides some burn damage. Ancient Cellarspawn reads much closer to Up the Beanstalk in practice, though. That is a very important recent addition to the Legacy format. Relatively recent. The card's existed for over a year, but relatively recently, in the terms of the scope of Legacy, we had to figure out how can we spend less than advertised on cards that cost 5 or more. And here we are. Force of Will is an obvious one. Just pitch interaction. You spend 0, you get 5 damage out of it, you get a Beanstalk trigger. We did it. We really solved it. Subtlety doesn't trigger Beanstalk, does trigger Cellarspawn. If you pitch cast it, that's a 4-ball to the face. Force Negations 3. Murderous Cut. It is damage equal to the difference. So delving a Murderous Cut, exiling all 4 cards will deal 4 in addition to the removal spell. If you delve 1 card, it'll deal 1, etc. So it is a little bit modal. It's just pretty interesting. It works differently than other cards in the past that have had this similar words on it for that reason. Murktide Regent comes with a Lava Axe. Before anyone points it out, I know Tombstalker is a demon, and this thing reduces the cost of demons, but Murktide Regent literally does that on its own, and it's a better card, and it's bigger. I didn't forget, it just doesn't matter. Other ways to trigger this thing are Miracle, which is not a mechanic that is going to be in this deck this time, but it's something to think about for the future. We've got Dismember in the sideboard, Phyrexian Mana does it. And this build of the deck tries to kind of thread the needle, where you're doing enough of this that it will come up, but not so much that your deck's super reliant on it. Supporting this Ancient Cellarspawn Vial Smasher core is Force of Will, Brainstorm, Ponder, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Psychic Frog, Molten Collapse. Basically just Grixis Delver. I brewed a deck and it's Delver, every Legacy player. And that's okay because we do want to actually see wins. We don't just want to go all in. I worked with rGold on getting to this list in a tuning session, and his original take was like Dark Ritualing out the Cellarspawn and then like pitching Unmask and pitching Soul Spike. And I don't think that deck it would be good or win very many matches, but if you just use these as a little extra value, a little extra reach on things you'd like to do in the format anyway, that's the responsible way to brew with exciting new cards. That's what you need to know before we get in here. Let's see if we can do some of that extra damage with Ancient Cellarspawn. This video is partnered with Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy, one of the hardest working grassroots tournament organizers in the Legacy community. Compete in their events for your chance to win dual lands and other Legacy staples, and get your name in one of the coveted slots on the BCDL trophy. Check out their upcoming events October 12th in Columbus, Ohio, and October 19th in Houston, Texas. Information is available in the links in the video description. Make your plans to attend today. I'm on the play in round 1. I've got Ponder, Force Blue card. I'm in. Got the Raucous Theater in my hand. I could lead on that, get a little selection, or I could cast this Ponder. This deck is on the slower side, and I have a lot of land, so I don't care about getting wastelanded. I'm going to lead on the theater. Another Ponder. Keep it forever. I love you, Ponder. The original build of this deck had days in it, but if you're trying to build a deck that resolves a 3-drop and then plays for a while after that, that's probably not going to be an effective days deck. And if you're trying to resolve a 3-drop and then continue to play the game, it's not an effective wasteland deck either. So we talked about that and eventually cut it. Ooh, Cellarspawn, Brainstorm, Psychic Frog. I like all these cards. I'll pop this frog in my hand. They did wasteland me, by the way. Got them. Basically duressed that wasteland right out of their hand with our sequencing. And still did everything we wanted to do. Blue to Delta. Alright, you want to have a frog fight? Let's do it. I will not force of will to protect this frog. Whatever they do here. If they daze, it's gone. If they force, it's gone. If they untap and cast a removal spell, it's probably gone. Because if I resolve the Cellarspawn next turn, the force is extra. Yep, especially not going 2 for 1 over a daze. Now they have no permanence in play going into their 3rd turn, while I'm ready to resolve the engine card of my deck. Drawing Brainstorm. I think I fetch Badlands here just to round out the offerings. One wasteland can't take me off a color anymore. Here we go. Moment of truth. Please let this resolve. We got a reader. Long pause on this one. We're in there. They're taking at least 5 this game. If I can force a spell this turn, they lose 5 life, and then cast Murktide, they've taken 10. I'm going to force this frog. Take 5. Bang. Got you. Yeah, they force back. That's fine. A frog resolves. Murktide, take 5. Another Lava Axe to the Dome. And we're cooking. Can't attack into Frog because Frog's busted. But they did just take 10 life from things I was going to do anyway. That was cool. Reanimate is off the table on Archon of Cruelty. It still works on Atraxa. Shit. We're going to die. And this is where the fun deck runs into the real deck. Yeah, we were never winning this. There's no sequence that would have kept this playable for me. I guess I discard Psychic Frog. No creature is going to do anything this game. Okay, another Psychic Frog. I'm gonna Ponder. File Smasher Subtlety. These cards don't help me. Shuffle that out. And Bloodstained Mire also doesn't help me, and we lose. Okay, we 10-balled them, but they were playing the best Legacy deck, and we're playing this. Moral victory. Okay, I like Fairy Macabre. I like Nile Spellbomb. Snuff Out, unfortunately, not going to line up here. Submerge, not going to line up here. Those are 2 bangers with the Cellarspawn and the Smasher. Pyroblast helps me win fights, and it kills Frog. I guess that's good enough. Dismember doesn't actually kill anything in their deck. Fatal Push is good. Lightning Bolt is in the deck over Unholy Heat because we are, at the end of the day, a burn deck. I don't like Force of Negation. I kind of like Lightning Bolt still in some number to finish them off. I like Cut. I like Collapse. Subtlety is probably mid. But if we get to 4 mana, it becomes really good. Yeah, it might just have to be Lightning Bolts coming out, even though I do like the card. Let's go. Okay, keep. I think I am going to Ponder here, even though it puts down the blue card for Force. But I don't think that's just a whole plan I can build around. Murderous Cut is good if they go for a Frog line. The Cellarspawn is there to deal damage. I can already beat a Frog. I think this is just a shuffle. And ended up with Brainstorm. Going for a Wasteland again, that's fine. This deck's mana is super solid. There's no Wastelands in it. We're playing a bunch of dual lands. There's only 1 basic. We have all 3 colors supported well. There are 20 lands in the deck, counting the MDFC. I'm pretty well set up for this. And I'm fine feeding them another one. I'm just going to get Raucous Theater here and Surveil. Basic Island's fine to have access to. They did not fire the Wasteland yet. I'm going to play Scalding Tarn and pass. I went for Raucous Theater, thinking they would just fire off the Wasteland, because Undercity Sewers actually does cast a full value Brainstorm this turn. Cycle the Troll instead. I'm going to float black and make them think about that. It doesn't matter what I float here, and if I float red, it kind of telegraphs Pyroblast, where I could just not do anything instead. Reanimate the Troll. What are my answers to this? I have a Molten Collapse and 2 Murderous Cut in the deck. I could also just Force of Will this. I am going to force this. Okay, that worked. Could have also tried to Brainstorm for Fairy Macabre. I don't have high hopes in that line, though. Nile Spellbomb. We did it. A Polluted Delta. This is in case I need to Pyroblast to protect my Spellbomb. We're in there. Okay, that half of the deck is temporarily turned off. I could Pyroblast a Frog. I'm not going to Pyroblast a Ponder. I have a threat in my hand. Ancient Cellarspawn is ready to go. I'm out of Surveillance to fetch. I'm just going to make my land drop and pass. If I can play Cellarspawn and protect it, while also leaving up the ability to cantrip off Nile Spellbomb, it feels right to wait. Okay, they are just committing to clearing the Spellbomb. Glad I waited. I would like to draw a card, yes. Get that shit out of there. That is the play of somebody with more graveyard stuff in their hand that they'd like to unload still. I think, in the spirit of that, I'm going to ponder and try to find more answers to stuff. Molten Collapse can kill a troll. I could just play Murktide with Pyroblast backup right now. I think I'm going to do that. All right, don't shuffle. Volcanic Island, Murktide. We're in there with the 6/6. If they Entomb, Reanimate, Archon of Cruelty, I have to take my medicine on that, then try to Molten Collapse it through their 7-card hand. Main phase. Ooh, main phase. Fetch, Surveil trigger, Brainstorm in response. They're about to put a monster from their hand into the graveyard. And the Surveil trigger happens. There goes Atraxa. That one I can Pyroblast, but they will still get the handful of cards. Drawing Molten Collapse here. Force of Will is on top of my deck. I do have 5 mana with which to cast that, but I'd still rather add the Cellarspawn. Live in Fear. A big swing. Opponent's at 13. See if we can burn them out. If their play is Reanimate, and it is, okay. So that puts them to 6. I'm going to blast Atraxa in response to her trigger. Good chance they have counter magic here, but I have another answer in hand. Oh, Emergency Brainstorm. They don't have an answer right now. They would have just forced it if they had that. Now they're open to Daze, which is not a card I play, but is a card that would make sense that I have, given the cards I've shown them. Okay, Atraxa is back to dead, and they have to look at all the Brainstorm cards again. Played around Daze. That's lucky. There is a Fatal Push in the hand, or in the pool here, but not a face-up Black Source to cast it. So they're starting from 7 cards in hand. So obviously this is, they could have cards I don't know about. Heck yeah. All right, we did it. Cellarspawn won that game. I'm giving Cellarspawn credit for that, even though it didn't trigger. It was basically a 3-mana 3/3. On the draw, do I want Force of Negation to slow down their nut draws? I don't think so. They have Thoughtseizes and stuff. Not even supporting it that well. Can I get Lightning Bolts in a way that is useful? I could shave a Cellarspawn, add a Bolt, just for efficiency's sake. I still have 4 of this effect, and I think Vial Smasher is actually the better one in this matchup. Is getting the ping off any spell, rather than having to meet the criteria is big. Okay, I'm going to try this. 1 Bolt in here. Hope that carries the day. I'm going to keep. I like the Fairy Macabre. I like the Thoughtseize. I don't like that this is the first hand that I'm extremely weak to Wasteland from. The 1 Bolt is in, though. If it's going to be good, it's now. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Can I draw a land, please? No. Okay. With the Macabre in hand, I'm going to go Underground Sea Ponder. I would just really like to find another land before I lose my life here. Okay, 3 lands in a row. Or 2 lands. My next lands 1 through 3 are locked, is the thing I'm trying to spit out of my face right now. If they Wasteland me, they can't play Psychic Frog. Yeah, that's fine. Don't like that. The Wasteland plus Thoughtseize is the most annoying thing here. I have Macabre and Spellbomb, though, which is nice. It's double covered. They see a tapped land, but I know I'm drawing an untapped land. They took the Macabre, okay. I'm going to Thoughtseize their ass. Bang. I think this is better, because this covers Frog or Entomb, where just playing out the Spellbomb doesn't cover Frog. I have Fatal Push, too. I guess I have multiple things covered in multiple directions. Okay, we've got Push, Push, Daze, Brainstorm, Reanimate. Are any of these cards good? They could reanimate my Fairy Macabre and get to work. That sounds bad. I probably just take the Brainstorm here, actually. Yeah, they're running on fumes over there as well. Let's try to go into the garbage pile together. They're doing it. The beats have begun. Okay. They have my Fairy Macabre. Okay. I know they have Daze and 2 Fatal Pushes. If they want to Daze this Nile Spellbomb, that's fine. Cool. That's done. Undercity Sewers. Murktide Regent, long way away from helpful here. Push, push, C, 2 unknowns over there. And the beats begin. The spawn! Okay. We're live. I know they have double Fatal Push, so I'm not in a hurry to play the Psychic Frog. Murderous Cut. Okay. I think what I want to do here is go Murderous Cut, Scalding Tarn, Force of Will. That means I miss my land drop this turn, but next turn I can play Cellarspawn, which they can't currently Fatal Push. Cycling Troll. Now we know 3 of their 4 cards. And I can beat a Troll, if they can even reanimate it, which is not a sure thing. Psychic Frog. Oh, that sucks. With 3 cards in hand, I have Fatal Push. They know I have Fatal Push. Okay. I'm just going to push this now. If their 1 unknown card is Daze, that's something I can work with. Yeah, cool. Done. Okay. Now I can play Frog, but it would die. I can play Cellarspawn, but that shuffles away Murderous Cut. But yeah, that's fine. All right. I'm going to get Volcanic Island and cast Cellarspawn. Force of Will is a 5-ball here. I have the biggest creature in play. Fatal Push doesn't kill this unless they draw a fetch land. The Refrog. All right. Take 5. Bang. Suddenly, you're in a lot of trouble, and this 1 of Lightning Bolt is looking pretty good. Okay, they're not ready to chump block yet. Come on, big spell. Murktide Regent. Ooh, all right, that's almost good. We're in for 3. The race is on. Boo! Boo! Sad. Okay, now we got to figure this out again. Fatal Push. Can't cast Force of Will right now. I'm going to take a little more damage from the Macabre. If they do something like reanimate a 2-drop at 4 life, the bolt is lethal. Okay, Brainstorm. Let's mix it up here. Ooh, Pile Smasher. Okay. I'm going to put back... How do I want to do this? Put back Force of Will and Vial Smasher. And then play the Volcanic Island and pass. This hides my action from Thoughtseize. I'm at 5. It's getting serious. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, so Vial Smasher, if it dies this turn, the spell doesn't count. Because it is my first spell this turn. Let's get you out there. They would need to have come up with Force Blue card to answer this super cleanly. And then their hand is just Fatal Push. Smasher's in. If I untap with 5 mana and draw this Force of Will, we got him in the lock. If we even get to their turn, we can put them to 2, and then even reanimate Psychic Frog is dead. Oh, mana's being tapped. Brazen Borrower. Sad. Okay, that works. Unfortunately. Just fired that in my main phase. I don't have more mana to play it, though. Okay, how do I actually win this race? Because they're going to attack me to 3 here. I need them to mess up, like reanimate something they shouldn't. Okay, they're just passing with mana up. I'm drawing Force of Will. Don't have a blue card, unfortunately, because that would be the lock. Smasher's back in. Okay, I have to kill Brazen Borrower. If I wait till it's their turn, then this turns on Fatal Push automatically. Okay, I'm at 1 on the board. This Fairy Macabre has done all 20. That early reanimate was the correct play. I have 1 unknown card on top of my deck right now. I'm dead to Orcish Bowmaster. Brainstorm. Okay. I'm going to attack them, and if they try to kill Vial Smasher, I'll force it and they die. Okay, there are 4. All they have to do is attack. So I'm going to cast the Brainstorm, which is going to deal 1 to them. And I got to find a Murderous Cut, I think is what I need here. Or really any removal spell to take the Macabre pressure off is fine. Yeah, this happening this turn and not last turn. That Brazen Borrower was just enough to get through. There's mana in the pool. They're dazing. That does give them Revolt for Fatal Push. Okay. Smasher's gone. They still take 1. Unfortunately for you, you just gave me Revolt as well. I'm going to put back... okay, this game's heating up. I'm going to put back Force and Vile Smasher. Oh, this sucks. The way that I tapped... Actually, if they have Force of Will, they win. Okay. I'm going to Fatal Push the Fairy Macabre. Right now. Alright. Pressure's off. I'm drawing a Smasher next turn, and they're back in the lock. There's the land. Remember me. Off you go. I could even Molten Collapse my own Vile Smasher next turn. Okay. If they get Atraxa, they have to animate dead. Because like that isn't indicative that they actually have the card. It just tells me that they wanted to get Entomb out of their hand and Atraxa out of the way. Now they're in the lock. If they do anything, I just cast Force and they're dead. Oh my god. My spell doesn't even have to resolve. You're up. I could have Molten Collapse to my own thing, but it's funnier to hold up the Force. Oh yeah! We beat the best deck in the format, making this the new best deck in the format. Let's go! This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I am on the play in round number 2. I'm going to keep my hand. It's got Brainstorm in it. It has a lot of black cards I'd like to cast and no black mana, but Brainstorm exists to fix all of my problems. Cut to me standing in divorce court, casting Brainstorm, and being confused why I'm still being divorced. I'm not being divorced. That was a joke. Swiping Brainstorm at the grocery store, does that work? The police have my house surrounded, and I hold up a Brainstorm. Sorry guys, go back home. Nothing to see here. Looks like we're playing against some oops all spells. Okay. I am getting Thoughtseized. I'm going to Brainstorm and hope that I see a black source and hide my Thoughtseize. Okay, it worked. I'm going to put back Murktide Regent and Thoughtseize and let them look at my hand of 2 Fatal Pushes and hope that I don't die to their other 4 cards in hand right now. If they pass, we've got a game. If they don't pass, we're dead. Hell yeah. They did mull to 5. I think if they kept 7, I've already lost. Underground Sea, Thoughtseize, is this enough? Can I effectively break up what they're doing? Oh wow, they're holding the Oracle. They have Cabal Therapy. It's kind of a mess. And I have to take the Informer, because that's how the deck works. 1/8 of their win con's now deleted. Sometimes they play Reanimate, and I might have just functionally given them a bunch of mana. Hope that's not the case, though. There's the Sink. Therapy, the Fatal Push out of my hand. It is the only spell, and they know that. Okay, now let's grind back from nothing. Our mutual shared nothing. My deck's better from this spot than theirs is, but we are both equally on nothing here. Dang, Brainstorm. The SWAT team packing up their truck going home, because I just top decked a Brainstorm. Hey, are they going to save this mana? Okay. They're saving the mana. They could have cast Thassa's Oracle there, get some selection, and use it that way. But decided not to do that. Big Brainstorm, show me 3 spells. Shit. That's not 3 spells. I'm going to fetch for Undercity Sewers. I just want to see as many cards as I can this turn. Ooh. Well, if I had fetched an untapped land, I could cast that right now. Ponder. Sink into Super, Lightning Bolt. I'm going to put Sink in my hand this turn. And then I can draw Frog next turn, and then I can play Frog with Sink backup. If they just go land Balustrade Spy this turn, I lose. Please don't do that. Thoughtseize. Okay. Let's hope they're more worried about Ponder. But Sink into Super is an interactive spell when they have basically nothing going on. Yep, took my stink. My stinky stupors. That sounds like something a kindergartner would call someone they don't like. You big stinky stupor. Alright, I'm gonna Ponder. Molten Collapse can kill Lotus Petal, or I can put Ponder in my hand. I think killing Lotus Petal actually matters a lot here. Okay, fetch. Get Volcanic Island, Molten Collapse. I guess I didn't need to descend. Well, I need the mana, but I didn't need to descend. Bang! Kill 1/3 of your available resources. And this is the kind of nothing I'd like to grind it back from. Let's go. Psychic Frog. If I can have one permanent in play, I want it to be that one in Legacy these days. All right, we're still dead to Dark Ritual Balustrade Spy. Gotta get ahead somehow before that turns around on me. I'm not going to play these cards with the Cellarspawn and the other homie in the deck. Great. Yep. Here it is. I can... So they have to get their own Thassa's Oracle out of their hand. How many Narcomoebas do you have? It is 3. Okay, 1, 2. So if I cut one of these things, let me just look at the pile while I still have priority. We've got... Fuck, there's a bridge from below. Yep. Can't win. If they Cabal Therapy me first, I might be able to win this. Oh, Poxwalker's in the graveyard too? Nope, no chance. Yep, I mean, they just had to draw one of the 7 cards remaining in their deck that mattered, and they did. What are you going to do? Okay, bring in a bunch of interaction. Pyroblast interacts with Pact of Negation. Subtlety's really good. Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push are out. Molten Collapse is out. I like all this interactive stuff. Murderous Cut is out. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Yeah, that turn where I just tried to see more cards. If Frog was down 1 turn earlier, that would be one more draw that I have. Hard to say that that's the win or the loss. Speaking of wins and losses, tap land, can't cast Thoughtseize, gonna mulligan this. Okay, this tap land also... Or this land also doesn't kill Thoughtseize, or doesn't cast Thoughtseize, but I have Force Blue card, Fairy Macabre, and can Thoughtseize them next turn. I'm in. They kept 7 this game. Hate that for me. A Thoughtseize. I'm going to force this Thoughtseize. Pitching Brainstorm. And then cycle for Underground Sea. Thoughtseize ya. They do have a Pact. Can't Pact a Fairy Macabre. They can't Duress a Fairy Macabre. I can't Thoughtseize 2 Undercity Informers. All right, I'm going to seize their Seize. And cast the Ponder while I still can. Another Thoughtseize and a land. Okay, do I need a Thoughtseize next turn? I could put the Brainstorm there. All right, I'm going to draw the land. I'm going to draw Thoughtseize next turn. Dark Ritual, that's pretty good. Informer resolves. Are they going to Spirit Guide and zap themselves here? They have the Pact backup if they think that's safe. Seems like they're onto something. They suspect a piece of interaction. I guess they have determined there's nothing they can do about it. Oh my god, why are these all in the same revealed pile? Get rid of them, please. I don't care about this. Okay, let me see how they can interact with me right now. These decks sometimes play a Memories Journey. Let's look at their sideboard plan as well. There is a Memories Journey, and I know that they don't have the thing in their hand, the Spirit Guide. I have perfect info right now. How many oracles are there? What the hell is Hydroelectric Specimen? When this enters, you may change the target of a thing from its target to this, and it's just a land on the back. Okay, all right, that's just a land on the back. 1 oracle, 1 bridge. Where's the Dread Return? It's got to be here, right? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, the Dread Return. Okay, Thassa's Oracle and Dread Return exiled. Can't Pact a Negation this. Don't have green to journey it away. Your deck's empty, so you can't beat me down. Don't have green to Flashback Memories Journey. Okay. Cabal Therapy. Triggering Poxwalkers. I'm drawing Thoughtseize this turn. If there's a solve here for Fairy Macabre, I'll be impressed. I don't see it, but I'm also not going to spend like 5 minutes studying their deck. Okay, Cabal Therapy, name Psychic Frog. Drawing Thoughtseize. What is the plan here? Why haven't you conceded yet? Your deck's empty. Memories Journey is green to Flashback. Green that you don't have. What is Jack-O-Lantern? Exile Jack-O-Lantern from your graveyard and 1 mana of any color. Oh, okay, that's the trick. Alright, shit. Maybe we are dead. Was I was supposed to exile Jack-O-Lantern or a Memories Journey and Thassa's Oracle? Okay, yeah, I actually fucked up here. They're going to get 3 turns to try to beat me. And it might be enough. All right, yep. I just didn't read a card I've never seen. Which is, obviously, a big mistake. Okay, Jack-o'-lantern gets you 3 turns. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 times 3. Yeah, I was supposed to exile Thassa's Oracle and Memory's Journey, not the Dread Return. That just didn't matter. Learn from my mistakes, kids. This is how Oops All Spells wins games, when the opponent makes a mistake. I do have 1 Thought Scour in my deck that can flip it on them. Okay, they're targeting Boggart Trawler and Boggart Trawler. Oh, and something else. MTGO is telling me it's targeting Boggart Trawler, and BoshNRoll. Trawler. Okay, 3 Boggart Trawlers in here. Okay. There are 3 more things that can attack. Sure. How sick would it be if I find the 1 of Thought Scour to win this game? They duress me. Take the Thoughtseize. Now it's time for the cantrip deck to kick in. And they can't pact the Thought Scour because then they'd have to pay for pacting their upkeep. Okay, end step. Fetch the Raucous Theater. Raucous Theater. Trigger. Brainstorm. I'll take it. It's more looks at Thought Scour. Brainstorm. Oh, baby! Put your cards in the graveyard. Packed it. Go out on your own terms. Played around it. Played perfectly. I don't think I made any mistakes this game. Woo! Okay, I mean, that was perfectly normal. Remember when I said Brainstorm fixes all my problems? I have my middle fingers in the air, waving at the SWAT truck as it drives away from my house. They had me completely surrounded, and I just cast Brainstorm, and the governor called and pardoned me. Okay, watch out for Jack-o'-lantern. That's cool tech. And with that in mind, I'm going to hit submit on this deck. Okay, now I'm on the draw where it actually gets hard. Okay, force blue card, and then I untap into consign. And I'm not going to mulligan this. I'm not comfortable with it. I generally want 2 pieces of interaction before I'm happy with a hand. But this is what I get right now. Felmire. Wall Therapy. Resolves. Please name Fairy Macabre. They're more likely to name Force of Will, but forcing it gets 2 cards out of my hand. And the fact that I let this resolve, maybe they think Fairy Macabre instead. It's just a level system now. They just name Force. That is the clean, correct thing to do. Do they have the follow-up right now to continue winning? Looks like it. And Spirit Guide in hand. Cool. All right. Yep. That's what this deck is meant to do. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. On the draw in round 3, I'm going to keep this. It's missing blue mana, but doesn't actually have any blue spells in it. It has a free spell and then a bunch of Rakdos stuff. That works out perfectly. Can't pitch the Force anyway. But I am ready to spawn if I can. Tamiyo. Okay. My hand is full of removal for that thing. I'm going to bolt Tamiyo right now. Just face up. Here we go. Don't let them untap into a Spell Pierce. If they have Daze, they got it. It's fine. But I'm using the Lightning Bolt to do this because Fatal Push can kill Psychic Frog. Alright. Force Pitching Ponder. They want this Tamiyo. Just a little Hymn to Turok to start the game. I'm a little worried if they Brainstorm right now and immediately go into Planeswalker mode. That is a bit of a pain, but I am ready to answer the Tamiyo creature just fine next turn. Blue-black. Uh-oh. I'm not ready to answer the Tamiyo creature anymore. Danger, danger. Ancient Cellarspawn looks crazy, by the way. I just took this opportunity to look at it while they were thought-seizing me. It's like a long, skinny elk with millions of horns, millions of antlers. Weird. And standing on its back legs. I don't like that. Okay, Ponder. If they put a land on top that blanks Thoughtseize, they did not shuffle the Ponder. That is concerning. Removal spell? Not quite. I'm still going to Thoughtseize them, I think. If they stack their stack right, good job. If they didn't, got them. All right, force the wills out. That's fine. Get rid of it. I'm ready to go into the Ancient Cellar. I'm going to spawn an Ancient Cellar next turn with Force Blue card. Tamiyo's in there. Shit. I mean, that was a good setup. I could force this. Then I don't have the 5-ball anymore, but I think it's better to not have the 5-ball than for them to have this Planeswalker going. Ooh. Game changer. They're going to be so disappointed when I don't cast Cellarspawn this turn. Get in there, Froggo. Now they're going to have to decide to leave back the Tamiyo or keep the clues rolling. This card in their hand right now is the third card when they cast Ponder. Getting in for an attack. This could mean they have a removal spell. It could mean they're just not going to block anyway because I could discard 2 cards and kill it. They're cracking a clue. And Frog's going to do something. Let's turn it around. Frog Smash. Frog Smash, connect. Drew Force to go with my Cellarspawn. Welcome to the cellar, gamers. Didn't daze it. Good news, everybody. I'm so ready. And this is a game where it actually matters. Like, sometimes they're just so far in the garbage that it doesn't matter anyway. But this is a game where I'm only attacking for 4 a turn, getting a surprise bash for 5 while doing stuff I wanted to do anyway actually cuts a turn and a half off the game. Ooh, leaving back Tamiyo now. They're scared. They're scared. Another Forg. I stay frogging. Attack. If they block Frog, I'm just going to let them touch butts and play the other Frog. I'm still pushing damage here, still pulling ahead. Another one. Entomb. I'm going to force that shit. Take 5. All right, they're at 7. A little worrisome, though, now revealing that they are the Reanimate Pivot version of this deck, because this is how I lost round 1, or game 1. I won the round, thank you very much. But I had all this shit going, and they just put an Archon of Cruelty into play, and it didn't matter. Right, they're just chucking it on the Tamiyo. Like, yeah, whatever. You're going to get through with a Frog anyway. Might as well get my clue token. Brainstorm. This flips Tamiyo, which makes one of the Frogs not able to deal damage this turn. Maybe both if I draw something I don't want to discard. They're cracking a Polluted Delta. Oof. That's annoying. Okay. We've got a game. And that card is fine to discard. I'm going to attack Tamiyo with all of my creatures. I don't want them picking up Ponder or Entomb here with this Tamiyo. It could just block the Cellarspawn, and then I only put 1 damage on Tamiyo, and they can pick up Entomb. I discarded a Frog. If they block one of my Frog dies here. Ooh, they block Cellarspawn. Nope. They're thinking. This is actually a really interesting spot because... Okay, they block the Cellarspawn. Because if they block one of my Frogs, I could save that Frog and just deal 2 damage to Tamiyo and be happy with that, but then I don't draw a card. I could push more damage onto Tamiyo. Thoughtseize is a card I don't mind discarding. If they just delete Tamiyo this turn to pick up Entomb, that's a game plan built in of itself. The life total's pretty low to Thoughtseize me. I don't think that's where they want to spend their energy. I just discard that card to Frog anyway. But the clue tokens, plus them having 1 more card in hand when the Frog resolve, means they're ahead in the Frog game. But if I draw Murderous Cut at any point, they're just dead. Okay, they're going for the beats. Sacking a clue, they're up to 3 cards in hand, but their Frog is tapped. There's no removal in their graveyard. So there's not the option to just delete Tamiyo and pick up a Fatal Push at least. Cycle to Troll. They plus Tamiyo, so picking up a spell is off the table. Undercity Sewers enters tapped. Okay, cool. That gives me a runway here to deal 4 damage to them and draw 2 cards. If any of those cards has a cost reduction effect. Or I could actually put them to 1. Alright, I'm just going to attack their face. I'm ignoring Tamiyo now. Attack you. Okay. After blocks. discard this Undercity Sewers. That's not going to help me this turn. And do I want to Thoughtseize this 2-card hand, or do I want to put them to 1? I'm going to keep Thoughtseize in my hand and just deal 4. Come on. Cellarspawn game winner. I mean, that's probably a game winner, but it has nothing to do with Cellarspawn. Thoughtseize you. Ooh, they have an Animate Dead. I will take that. They said in the chat, stop having it, but I'm attacking with 2 frogs. I'm always going to have it. That's how this card works. I don't know how to tell you. Okay, there's a Daze in their hand right now, and no other cards. They can pick up something from the graveyard this turn. I did leave Tamiyo fully ready to go. They're busting a Clue. They can't reanimate here, so they'd have to come up with an extra mana somehow, which, knowing their hand is Daze, I don't think is possible. That game was sick. And the Cellarspawn damage actually did matter. Nice. Okay. Well, we remain undefeated so far versus this archetype that I've heard is good or something. Not today. This is where I left 1 bolt in last time, and it actually was pretty solid. I think I cut a Cellarspawn. Is this what I did last time? This looks familiar, and it makes sense now. Let's do it. The Snuff Outs are really good versus Tamiyo, but they're just so bad versus every other card in the deck that I can't justify having any number of them in. Vile Smasher, Force of Will, game. This hand's a little risky. Like, not bad enough to mulligan, but there's no Ponder or Brainstorm to move cards around, and if they just go turn 1 Tamiyo again, that thing's gonna go coast to coast, basically. Not anymore. We did it. Solved it. Just draw the card that matters. Magic's easy. Stop complaining. Subtlety. I like that too. This hand is set up to get to 4 mana. End step fetch. Let's see an Undercity Sewers. Cool. In the range of things that could come out of that fetch land, Undercity Sewers is the least concerning. Land Cycle Troll is the second most concerning, and Entomb is the most concerning. And we got away with the least concerning one. And since I drew this Fatal Push, I don't have to worry about this frog. Don't have to spend a big tasty Force of Will on that. If they force to protect this, I will force back. That didn't happen. Good job, me. I got the Raucous Theater to fetch for still. Fetching Pluto Delta. Are we going to see a Barrowgoyf? What's 3 mana do in this world? Big Barrow. I think I'm going to force this. Pitching Subtlety. I don't have an answer to it right now. Sink into Stupor is a nice follow-up answer. Like, if they force this, I'm going to be really happy I still have Sink available. But if they don't fight back, then I wish I had Subtlety. It's just kind of, where do you want to put your risk? Pluto Delta, don't need that. Pyroblast. Okay. If I can protect Vile Smasher with Pyroblast next turn, I'll do that. And just hold up Sink in the meantime. I haven't given them a chance to daze me yet. Don't want to open it up now. Wasteland's pretty good here. It doesn't take me off a color, but it does take me off having 4 mana next turn, which is what I wanted to do. I guess I actually have to float blue here. Alright, float blue. They could still just change phases and it doesn't matter, but just in case they messed up, having the Sink is actually matters a lot. Okay, there's not a lot of targets for Pyroblast in this matchup, and I am going to choose to use this here. If they just cast Frog from hand right now after all this, I'm going to feel kind of silly, but I just have a feeling they don't have that. I'm going to deploy the boy. Now that they wastelanded me, I don't really have prospects of getting out from under days. Let's hope they didn't have it, and they didn't. And this is the one that triggers off my first spell every time. Not going to matter if we get Entomb reanimated right now. Okay, did they walk this game to a spot where they have it all? Or 1 card left in hand? Or is that just an investment in the high roll? It's still right to Entomb there, whether you have it ready to go or not. Let's just hope they don't. There's the Underground Sea. And they pass the turn. Sick, okay. Now I can sink into Stupor through days, lightning bolt them, and get another draw if they come up with... Actually, that's not even true. That's so not even true, because Animate Dead costs 2 and Reanimate costs 1. They'll just cast it again. It doesn't matter at all. I guess what I would do is let the reanimation spell resolve and then bounce the Archon in response to its trigger. Okay, now this is interesting because they tapped mana to get to this point. I'm going to bounce the Animate Dead. I will take this opportunity. If they just cast Animate Dead from the hand without spending mana, I would have bounced the Archon. But now I'm going to take this redraw to try to spike a good one. Barry Macabre off the top. Ponder. Ponder, ponder, ponder. 1 to you. 4 fresh looks. Nile Spellbomb. Ponder, Frog, Murktide. Ponder sees 2 more cards this turn at the cost of 1 mana. Shuffle sees 1 more card at the cost of 0 mana. I'd rather see 2 new cards this turn. Ponder again. Force of Will. Sad. That is so close to being what I want. Gotta shuffle this. Drew Murktide Regent. Tough beats. Okay, now we lose. So they're going to get back their Archon. I lose Vile Smasher and Fatal Push. And then if I draw Molten Collapse for my turn, I could maybe kill the Archon and put a Murktide in front of it. Okay, lose you, lose you. Big draws. That's not it. Okay, GG. Game 3. I'm on the play now. Consigned to Memory does answer Archon or Animate Dead's trigger. It can also stop Psychic from drawing a card, stop Tameo from flipping, stop Archon or Atraxa from triggering. I don't think any of those are good enough to be better than the cards I'm already playing. Yep. I just wanted to acknowledge it, but I'm not doing it. Missing black again. Force blue card, Fatal Push. I'm going to keep this and just really hope I draw a black source or a Ponder. This is the worst hand I'd keep, or the best hand I'd mulligan. There's Tameo. Would be great to Fatal Push that right now. Polluted Delta off the top. Subtlety, shit. Hate you, Subtlety. Why even show up at all? I'm not going to spend Force of Will on a Tameo, though. Card is too high impact when Archon of Cruelty is something their deck does. Okay, Clue Token achieved. They've seen Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast out of me, and their Tameo just connected, which means that I don't have those cards, and they know it. Just drew a card that wasn't a land. And now the trouble begins. This Tameo is such a sick pivot out of this deck. I would force a Frog, I would force an Entomb, but here's this thing just burying me in the meantime. They pass back. A Ponder! Oh my god, oh my god. Show me the black source. Orcish Bowmaster. How much do I care about this? It will be annoying, and I have a lot of forces in my hand. I will force Pitching Subtlety. Ponder. Oh my god. 2 more black cards and a red source. Shuffle. Come on, deck. Shuffle. Easy. Fatal Push. If they brainstorm to Savor, that's fine, but that's the spot I put them in. Cool. And we're out. They have 6 cards in hand, about to draw to 7, and a clue on board. Safe to say they are ahead here. But also safe to say I'm gaming. I'm in. I'm ready to play. Cycle to Troll in the end step. No! This shitter again. They played a land from their hand that was not the one I knew about. Reanimate the Troll. That's fine. They take a bunch of damage from that, and I can Murderous Cut the Troll. Right on time, you fucker. Okay, how do I want to play this? I can just cast Frog and try to flip it on them. I lose Force of Will if I cast Frog. I can't cast Cellarspawn with the mana I have. Playing Flooded Strand instead of the face-up dual land could indicate Brainstorm. It could indicate Fatal Push. It could also indicate they just want to get under City Sewers this turn. I'm going to play Nile Spellbomb, see if they interact with it. And I think I'm going to go into their turn and just cut the Troll when it's their action. End step fetch. Under City Sewer. Dumped another Troll. That means I don't have to feel bad about killing the one that's in play. I don't like that this is dazable. They're down to 4 cards, though. Cool. If they go for Reanimate this turn, I can Spellbomb them. I just lose out on the card for it. Tameo continues to impress. And with Double Clue, they can just go Planeswalker mode here. And that appears to be happening. Okay. Now we're going to have to overcome this Planeswalker Tameo. She is a 1 mana non-creature permanent. Oh no. Oh yeah, okay. They left my swamp alone. That's lucky. They know about Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast. That's probably why they did that. But it was not my Psychic Frog mana. Like, my hand is mono black, but they can't know that. Shields are down, though. This is a super awkward hand that has come out here. Just having all these black cards that I couldn't cast for a while, having this Force that now has no blue card, pumping the Tameo, casting Ponder. Did not shuffle. They have Thoughtseize. Okay. Thoughtseize isn't Fatal Push. Not yet. It could be in the future. We are seeing the cost of brewing a fun little deck in the Legacy format, though. Like, obviously, if Ancient Cellarspawn was just a Thought Scour, or my own Tameo, or some normal Legacy card, this game would be a lot better for me. But it's not. And the Cellarspawn has done a bunch of damage in this match. Not in this game we're playing, but in the match. And guess who is ready to game? Cellarspawn, get in there. Cause chaos. Come out of the cellar with all your millions of horns. You weird skinny elk man. Tameo is now at the scary number. Psychic Frog has resolved. Unfortunately, Cellarspawn is life loss. Vile Smasher can hit Planeswalkers. That is an option on that card, but it's not an option on this card. Animate Dead a Troll. Well, can't really let you have that. I don't get the card here, but goodbye. They could just discard the Frog and reanimate a big monster right now if their hand is that good. I'm losing this game anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just be clear. I would have to brainstorm into Fetchland Molten Collapse. Alright, alright. That's the start of something. If they have nothing, I can get Tameo back under ultimate levels here. I could just concede. Alright, GG's. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw for round 4. I'm going to keep my hand. I've got lands that represent all my colors, and Double Frog. We're bifrogging it. Another Underground Sea, a Portent. That's a relief. I wonder if this is like some weird Doomsday deck where Portent is useful, or if Portent has just been adopted into Blue-Black Reanimator to support Metamorphosis Freak, or whatever it's called, Metamorphosis Homie. Fanatic. Metamorphosis Fanatic, that's what it's called. That's a card I've not gotten to play with yet, but I hope to soon. Don't worry, I am aware of it. I know Legacy just got that exciting new card, but for real, I'm focusing on Pioneer right now. I'm recording this just slightly before I leave for the regional championship, and I am woefully unprepared. I found a Force of Will, though. That helps with stuff. Abstractly stuff. Waves, hand in air stuff. I'm just Grixis Delver, don't worry about it. Nothing weird going on here. I will have to be very serious about Legacy before MagicCon Vegas, though, which is not far away. Someone actually recently reminded me about MagicCon Vegas, having a bunch of Legacy events that I care about. I thought I was off the hook until Eternal Weekend. But I am going to actually have to make a commitment to a real deck at some point. Got the Fatal Push. I have another Frog. I'm not fighting over that. They bend a Force of Will, meaning they either already have one or don't think that's what the game is about. Brainstorm. I thought a land that gets me ahead of Days here. Subtlety. Okay, I can just shove Frog, or I could cast Brainstorm and move some stuff around. I'm going to Brainstorm. This Murktide is a ways away. Cellarspawn is a ways away. I like Thoughtseize quite a lot. Okay, I don't want to fetch. I actually want basically all these cards. I think I can live without the Subtlety. And I'll float the Cellarspawn on top and hope that I don't have to fetch it away. But I am aware that that could be a concern. And I've just kept all the best cards in my hand. But oh boy, look out. If I resolve the Cellarspawn, I have 5, 9, 14 points of burn ready to go. Locked and loaded if the spawn gets in play. Ooh, okay. It's getting suspicious. This looks like some kind of take on Doomsday now. Or nope, they just set up this thing and are sending it right this moment. Okay. So Metamorphosis Fanatic is on the stack with Straight Wraith in the graveyard, which would come back with Lifelink. I'm going to have to force this. Force, pitching. I think I pitch Brainstorm here, actually. Like, Murktide's big enough to tangle with a Lifelink creature. And I can Murderous Cut the Straight Wraith. Okay. Cool trick. Cool setup. Another Fanatic in hand. And I'm going to fetch Right Meow, get Underground Sea, and deal with the Wraith. I can't block that card. My opponent's hand is Island right now. Just basic Island. I think my opponent's deck is super cool, using things like Portent and Street Wraith to set up and immediately pay out the Fnatic. That is the type of deck that I would think is good, or at least they're really pushing it. Just kind of adding 4 of these to Blue-Black Reanimator is fine. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like insane either. Okay, I have to tap out for this Murktide, but I did just draw Force of Will, which is basically the best card, because their next Metamorphosis Fnatic reanimates this one, which reanimates this one, and the chain is off. But if we could just put my 7/7 in front of their 4/4, I am winning on the axis that Garfield intended. I'm going to play out Takenuma and pass. This frog can't jump for a while. I have no graveyard. I know they have at least 2 more copies of a card in their deck that just pops off and wins. And any way they get this Fnatic back into play works too. Like, they could just animate dead this, and then it brings Street Wraith with it. Street Wraith is so good. I'm not going to use my Force of Will on that, though. Trust my deck to produce Murderous Cut, a card that I play enough of that apparently I could just top deck it like that anytime I want. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to pass. I was doing the math if I could play Psychic Frog, discard Force of Will, and then exile Force of Will to cut the Wraith, and the answer is no. I would have given them a standing ovation if they ninjutsu'd something in there. Oh, that's really good too. Can we have a good relevant card? Okay, Ponder. That could fit the bill. Ponder, find me some action. Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, let's go. Oh my god. All right. Do I actually want Lightning Bolt here? I don't think I do. Put Bolt here where Sewers will shuffle it away and push the Frog. And then I can cut next turn. Still holding Force. I will be at 5. Not a lot of life, but got a lot going on here. If they cast a spell here and I force it, I can cut right now. Don't want to have to do that, but it's there. Ooh, 2 things getting in. Well, I'll block the one I can block. This makes me feel like they just drew a reanimate and they're about to try to get the whole chain up. Look at that. Look at that. That's cool. Yeah, the chaining Fanatics is certainly a powerful line that exists in the game. Do I want Bolt now? I can exile Bolt. I don't think Bolt is going to change this game for me. And exiling this makes Murktide 11/11. They're dead in 2 hits. Okay. I actually beat a Reanimate or Metamorphosis Fnatic here, even if it brings back 5 creatures. They're still just dead. All in. Let's go. Murktide versus the world. Tamio, no. Not a blocker. And me without my Lightning Bolt. File Smasher. Okay. It would be kind of disappointing if they block Brainstorm. If they just chump, it's fine. Cool. That's handled. But are you ready for Vile Smasher the Fierce, opponent? Was this even on your radar or something you might have to do today? End step. Something's happening. Long goodbye. They were ready. They are hellbent, though. Fingers crossed. Brick, 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 brick. Hell yeah. Murktide Regent versus the world. Fair Macabre looks pretty important. Nile Spellbomb's pretty important. I mean, this is just Reanimator again. It looks a little different, but it just is this deck. There's a lot more triggered abilities. Both Miracle and ETB of Fnatic are triggered abilities. Dismember kills Street Wraith and Fnatic. Dismember coming in for the first time. Lightning Bolt's still pretty bad. I don't like Force of Negation. Subtlety is nice because that affects their reanimation engine pretty directly. And I've been cutting a spawn. I think we're going to continue cutting a spawn. Here is the deck. This is our legacy format right now. Just our 3rd Blue-Black Reanimator opponent in 4 rounds. Are we all excited for Eternal Weekend? I am. I will keep this. It has interaction in it. Kept the card on top. More interaction. We love it. This Vile Smasher is ready to get so fierce. Cycling Troll. Okie dokie. There's the Underground Sea they got. That's a Tamio. Alright. I'm going to fetch Undercity Sewers here. and plan to Fatal Push on my turn when they can't daze it. Sewer, Molten Collapse. That card's actually good. All right, I'll put that on top. And I am just going to Fatal Push playing around daze rather than get aggro about trying to stick a frog. I'm the control deck here. There's a frog. That's why I have Molten Collapse. I'm going to fetch the Rakdos Surveil land. Love to keep a land on top of my deck right now. We did it. Put that on top. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. I choose your Psychic Frog. Now they want to have a fight. I'm going to force Pitching Subtlety and hope that now my frog can do stuff. Now we're in a spot where a miracle's insane. They have 2 mana. They have something worth reanimating. They have multiple good targets to reanimate in the graveyard. Portenting yourself. We've got another Tamiyo. I do have another removal spell. I can also try to park a frog in front of this one. They've got 2 cards left over there, but they did just set up a Portent. There's card number 3. Cellarspawn, Vial Smasher. How do I want to do this shit? I think I want Vial Smasher in play. Let's just cast that thing and try to outmuscle the Tamiyo. Smash! Ignoring Psychic Frog, the best card in Legacy, for Vial Smasher the Fierce. This is the world I signed up for. They didn't Miracle. That's good news. Harbinger of the Seas. Okay. I'm mono blue now. That's terrible news. I don't think I can beat this. Literally think I'm just ice fucking dead. No, Dismember's in my deck. I can top deck Dismember right now, and we're cooking. Shit. Alright, not going to cast any more spells this game. That's fun. Disappointed with this outcome. I mean, they don't have black mana either. They did set up things to get to this point, and I didn't. They have Tamiyo running, and I don't. Vial Smasher can hit Tamiyo, both in combat and off spell triggers. My Ponders and Brainstorm still work. My Murktide Region still works. Murktide's the best draw. That was not a Murktide. Alright, yeah, Murktide Region's actually huge. I'm not ice fucking dead. I do have some options here. In fact, some pretty high impact ones even, I dare say. I am losing the race though. I am behind on cards. I am behind on planeswalkers. I'm behind on basically everything. And they're still casting spells. Brainstorm. They have a bunch of trolls in their deck, which is a route to basic swamp, which is something that I cannot do. I don't play one of those. So I'm looking for Dismember or Murktide. I would rather see Dismember, actually. Okay, and now I don't have an attack either. Just going to pass from here. They plus Tamiyo, 4 cards in hand. We'll probably see the Tamiyo student attack here. Okay, they're just turtling up. That's fair. Dismember? Come on, deck. This... Oh, they can yeet their Tamiyo to draw, and then they immediately replace it. Yeah, I'm dead. Cycling Street Wraith in the end step. Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm. Alright. You're about to draw half your deck. What are we doing? Alright. Game 3. Got by the Harbinger. That is good to know about. I already have in the Dismember. Sink into Stupor was a live draw there. Murktide would have been fine. Lorien Revealed would have killed Tamiyo and drawn me 3 cards. Have I even seen a Lorien Revealed in this entire league? I think I vaguely remember cycling 2 rounds ago. Okay. I forgot this was in my deck, but I have used it exactly 1 time. A Lightning Bolt does kill the Harbinger and the Tamiyos. This is less of a frog deck, and if they've pivoted, there's a lot to think about here. Normally I would shave Force of Wills in these matchups, but the Cellarspawn and the Vial Smasher actually combo with them. So it's not even like all I'm thinking about is whether I can counter one of their spells on a 2-for-1 basis or not. I'm thinking about, can I Lava Axe them? Their land disruption was the Harbinger, not Wasteland. Did I say Wasteland game 1? Am I blowing it? If I go +1 Bolt here, I could also cut a Cellarspawn. It's like Vial Smasher is actually just better. And then I get to keep my land. Okay. I still believe in subtlety, but that's the thing I'm looking at cutting as well. All right, keep this. I have protection from most of the things that could happen to me here on the short term. My plan is to try to get a frog going this game. I haven't done that in a while. I had the option last game and cast Vial Smasher instead. I regret nothing. Starting off with a Portent. Island Portent keep. Now I have to decide how long I want to try to play around days for. Undercity Sewers is the grab. Psychic Frog. I'm not playing around days. I'm just casting Psychic Frog. Now that I got 2 of them, there's no risk at all. Them reanimating my frog kind of stinks, but I could Macabre it or I could blast it once it's there. I got options. That just resolved quickly, though. Expect a Fatal Push here. And rewarded for my expectations. Now I can play the other frog and hold up Pyroblast. Second frog. Please force it, please force it, please force it, please force it. Force pitching days. Force pitching Brainstorm, okay. Counter target spell if it's blue. I choose Force of Will. That one of Pyroblast in the sideboard is a hero mode. Going full bananas. Okay, even if Frog does end up dying or getting countered here, that was a nice little 2-for-1 exchange. Now they're brainstorming. Emergency dig for another force. 4 cards in hand. Frog resolves. Hey look, Lauren Revealed heard me talking about it. It's in my hand. Good news, everybody. If they play the Merfolk this turn, I don't mind that much. My hand is actually blue right now, and Psychic Frog being in play versus not having Psychic Frog in play is a big difference. They can immediately access basic black, though, and have their deck fully firing. Not a fan of that. They fetched mana number 3. Okay, they're brainstorming. They're just clearing their top card. Did they know that? Yeah, they cast this brainstorm recently. Okay, yeah, they did. There was one known card on top that they didn't want to deal with. A Tameo. Underground Sea. I'm happy to discard Underground Sea. Not really happy to discard Lorien Revealed, but I will. Okay, I'm going to attack. I'm at least going to attack and see if they even want to block. And then I might just let them bounce off each other and play my land drop and pass here if they do block. Okay. I actually am just going to let them bounce off each other. Hit my land drop, and now I'm holding up Subtlety and Fairy Macabre, which covers most of the things that I've seen their deck do. Like that. Okay, here's this freak. Subtlety is really funny versus this because it's a bad answer. This also is not reanimating anything. It's just a 4/4. Just bad Triumph of St. Catherine. Okay, we can try that again next turn, if you like. And that's why they were comfortable blocking the Psychic Frog, because they knew they were about to just rebuy this thing. But now Tameo can't effectively attack this turn. I'm glad Subtlety got a moment to shine. It's been a weird card that I've not been really happy to have for most of the game, or most of the match, most of the league. Tameo did not attack. And they did put the Fanatic on top. Ponder. Okay, I'm going to Ponder. I'd love to find just a removal spell to get Frog through. And we did. That's fun. A Murderous Cut beats the Fanatic moving forward as well. Okay, cut, Murktide, push. Don't shuffle. Push this. If they brainstorm in response, that clears the Fanatic. It still ends up on top. If they brainstorm in response... Oh, I was supposed to tap Badlands there. Now I can't cast this Murktide region on top, but that I just put on top of my deck on purpose. Good job, me. Okay. Passing the turn. Not ideal. Here comes the Fanatic. It's going to resolve. And I'm going to Fairy Macabre, the Tameo, and I guess the Fatal Push. I'm just thinking about if they have a Mystic Sanctuary or if they minus a future Tameo or something. Those are what spell can I uniquely impact? And it's that one. Really wish I had Murktide region in play right now. Okay, if I play Murktide, I can't also play Cut. I guess I'm just going to Cut. How many soft permission spells do I play around? All right, I'm going to go exile Bloodstained Mire, Fairy Macabre. I currently am playing around Daze, but not Spell Pierce. I can exile Frog. It's probably better off not being in my graveyard. Okay, exiled 3 things that are not spells. They did not have the Force. In with the squad. I once again tapped in a way that does not cast Murktide region. Jesus Christ. Pay attention. I can still cast it this turn. Oh, now I don't want to, though. Because I would have to cycle Lorien Revealed. That's really bad. I just did the same stupid thing twice in a row. Alright. I think Force of Will is good enough to hold the fort here. Wowee, look at you. Draw step, trigger. Get another one going. Did they know this the whole time? Force pitching Lorien Revealed. And they're done. Okay. I mean, the deck's really cool. The Metamorphosis Fanatic, especially versus a deck like Grixis, where the removal is not exile-based, where working through the first Fanatic just everything that the first Phonetic did happens again, plus one more Phonetic on the second one. That snowball effect is really significant versus decks that aren't actually exiling your creatures. Really cool showcase, but also we beat it. On to the final round. I am on the draw in the final round. Positive record hangs in the balance. We have a handful of creatures. I'm going to keep it. If this is a fair matchup, I like my hand. If it's an unfair matchup, we're dead. Island Ponder. Okay, let's go. It's on a Malta 6 as well. Sick Island. Portal. Man, that's so good. All right. Good, great choice, opponent. I'm just going to get Raucous Theater invested here. Or in Reveal. I don't need that or want that or really even am thinking about that. That does immediately give away that I'm Grixis, though. Flooded Strand. Are we against an honest blue-white control gamer? I'm going to fetch. I'm going to get Basic Island just in case this is a back-to-basics deck. I'm pretty dead if that happens, but at least give it the respect that I can give it. And because my hand is just all creatures, I'm going to curve out and make them answer them as they come. Okay. Land number 3, fetch. A Basic Plains, my mortal enemy. Awesome Portal Basic Plains, though. Ugh, so good. That's a different art, but it's also Portal. Teferi Time Raveler has entered the chat. Lightning Bolt. A good, clean answer to that. Lightning Bolt Teferi. I'm doing this before my land drop, so they don't know, or can't be confident that I have more stuff or not. Underground Sea. Frog's back. Snapcaster Mage. Snap Ponder. Okay, that is not a clean answer to Frog just yet. That does make me jump the Frog if I don't want to discard cards, because they're definitely going to block. Snapcaster is already worth a card. Block, making me discard, it's worth another card. There's a lot of good stuff going on over there for my opponent. I'm spawn flooded. I have so many Cellarspawns. All right, I'm going to jump the Frog. Make them have a Swords to Plowshares if they don't want me drawing more cards. We're in there. We did it. I was really hoping to draw Force of Will there. No such luck. Vile Smasher gets answered by Caracas extremely cleanly. I could double spawn next turn if I draw a land, because they do reduce each other, and my opponent would take 1. Scoreboard. Yeah, I'm going to go with Vile Smasher. Smasher also beats Snapcaster in combat. All 2-3. I have my Kingdom for Force of Will in my hand right now. This is exactly the spot where you want some access to that sort of thing. Oh, pause on the draw step. We didn't get Terminus. Good news. Volcanic Island. That's probably a splash for 4th Aerolingus and some sideboard cards. I don't expect a lot of red cards out of their main. That does give them a 3rd color to Prismatic Ending Vile Smasher, if they respect Vile Smasher more than they do Psychic Frog even, which they don't. Put you in the squeeze. And they didn't have Plow last turn when my Frog connected for a card. Please don't have it now either. That would be nice. Flame of Anor, what a beating. They're going to draw 2 cards also. Man, I'm so jealous of their deck right now. That was awesome. I was worried about Swords to Plowshares. I said they're probably not going to have any red cards in the actual main deck. But boy, was I wrong. I'm going to get the other Surveil land here. Try to make something happen. Brainstorm. I like Brainstorm. Generally speaking, pretty good card. If I could Brainstorm into a Thoughtseize here and clear the way for Frog, that's powerful. Murderous Cut. And I could cut the Snapcaster with what I have. Put back these 2 Murktides. They're a long way from being helpful. Volcanic Island and Cellarspawn. Cut Snapcaster, deal 4 to you is a play I have available to me. The spawns can stack too. Hasn't been mentioned, hasn't been close to being relevant yet. But if next turn I play the 2nd spawn, they lose 1 life, and then I cut them, that's 8. Okay, Terminus. If you had a Cellarspawn, this would have dealt 5 to me. Did you consider that, opponent? Did you consider that for 1 second even? And that was just a raw rip. They just drew 2 cards off of Flame of Anor. Brain Surge. Oh man, they're in the end game now. It's about to get gross. I could Brainstorm in the end step, which would give me the cards in the graveyard necessary to go Cellarspawn into Murktide. That gets roasted by a Terminus. Oh no, they're all Murktides. Well, here we go, I guess. Cellarspawn. Oh no, I missed it. I tapped my mana wrong again. Oh, these Rakdos lands are smoking me. I just cannot get it right. Okay. I would have overextended into Terminus anyway. Played around it. I'm very smart. Yeah, we're done. Okay. This matchup is probably just horrendous. Pyroblast coming in. Consigned to Memory can stuff a Terminus trigger, but generally is going to be bad. My sideboard is not for this at all. Fatal Push out, Pyroblast in. That's really all I got. They have Tamios and Snapcasters, so Fatal Push isn't even a blank. Okay. That's really all I got here. And as a blue-white control wizard, you're generally pretty stoked to see Grixis Delver across from you, and I am much bigger and slower than Grixis Delver is, which is only good for my opponent. Okay, this hand looks the same as the last one, but handful of creatures, let's do it. Try to get some frogs rolling. We know the matchup now, but so do they. A Tundra. I'm going to get my Sewer. Don't want Murktide, not ready for that. I got enough creatures as it is. Cool. Underground Sea. That means I can save my fetch land for a red. Put you on the plow, the ending, or get frogged. Plow. That means the next frog runs into Teferi again. Ooh, they kept a one-lander. Or they misclicked. Either way, I'll take it. I'm going to play Vial Smasher. They probably have a handful of removal. And moving towards double spelling sounds good. And Vial Smasher plays around them drawing a land for Prismatic Ending. They did draw the land. Or they clicked through their last turn. I actually can't even be confident which one is which. Okay. I think I want to just play Cellarspawn here. Deal 3 to them while the getting's good. 3 to you. Obviously, I'm just ramming headfirst into Terminus here. But they haven't set that up. And I do have a follow-up. We didn't get Terminus. They do have land number 3. They either just runnered lands, or that was just a misclick on turn 2. Let's see what happens here. I have 2 things, which means Teferi can't just stuff me. If they just take a turn off to play back to basics, that is really powerful against my board right now, but I also do have 5 power in play. And if I draw Force of Will, you die. My Kingdom for Force of Will, for real. This would be the most insane Force of Will to draw off the top here if they just tap out for back to basics. Flame of Anor, just for the kill. No extra cards. Good call. That would have been very bad for you if I cast Lorien Revealed. Okay, I could Lorien Revealed, or I could hold up Subtlety versus potential Planeswalkers. I think I want to reveal Lorien. Okay, handful of cards. Lightning Bolt is here. I can pitch cast Subtlety, which still answers a Planeswalker, and deals 4 to them. Brain Surge, plus fetch land. Double Bolt, okay. We're finally doing it. And by doing it, I mean the Lightning Bolts I put in my deck because we're a glorified burn deck are good. And I don't need a target to cast Subtlety. I can deal 10 damage whenever I want right now. A Terminus. What if I'm doing it. This just rules so hard. Zap you. Take 4. You can't stop it. That's probably a massive spew, but I'm also having a great time. Wow, they countered it. That doesn't matter. I was just trying to deal 4 to them, but they got mixed up, lost in the sauce. And now I could double bolt them whenever I need to. I'm going to get the Rakdos land here. If I can find a Thoughtseize or a counterspell, or even if I could just test their counterspells with Frog, those are all good things. Ponder's great. Thoughtseize? Pyroblast. Red. Cool. I will take Pyroblast. And I will cast Psychic Frog. And let's see if there ends up being a fight here. There was not. How much time do I want to give them? I think I'm going to pass. Oh, just flipped another Terminus on me. Okay. You got it. There's a Brainstorm on top of my deck right now. Frog is on the bottom of my deck. Okay, right now they can't Force of Negation. And if they Force of Will, they're at 3 and they die to the other Lightning Bolt. They would need something like Hydroblast or actual counterspell. Force pitching Brain Surge. Okay. Counter target spell if it's blue. That puts you to 3. Just literally dead if this Pyroblast works. And if they have something like Flusterstorm to follow up, I untap and play the other bolt. I recently had a very bad, or very unsuccessful league. It wasn't bad, we learned a lot. But I had an unsuccessful league with Grixis Tempo on the channel, where We just didn't have this game plan available because the list had replaced all of its lightning bolts with Unholy Heat. And if these were Unholy Heats, the game would already be over, but instead we're probably going to win. They're in the tank here. I wonder what they're thinking about. They fetched a 2. They could go like Snapcaster, plow my own Snapcaster, go to 1. If there is even... Oh, wait, no, they only need basic lanes for that. They don't need a Tundra. So Snapcaster would stabilize them at 1. That does seem to be the play. Okay. I think I'm going to bolt in response. There's no way this deck has days in it, but they might have Force of Negation. Does that matter? No, I'm going to untap. It's just in case this... I don't know what Jeskai Wizards actually does. And I have a Brainstorm that can get another look. All right, well, I'm going to need this bolt to work because nothing else is coming to save me. Lightning Bolt. I brainstormed into it. Don't worry. I just got very lucky. Sorry, opponent. Wink, wink. Okay, the Lightning Bolt plan was great. The one of Pyroblast, MVP. I don't know how many Snapcasters they play. Is one Nile Spell Bomb worth the squeeze? I would probably cut Fatal Push for it. I don't think this is something I want to do. All right, same deck. Let's go. Just need Vile Smasher to do the damage. A no lander. Tragic. Gonna mulligan this. Okay, I'll keep this one. Needs a blue source, but I have Thoughtseize and Pyroblast, which are 2 of the most potent cards in the matchup. Lightning Bolt versus Murktide. I'm gonna bottom the Murktide. I'm really far away from that. Bolt's not a high impact card in the matchup, but if they lead on a Tameo or something, clearing that out matters a lot, or like booping a Narset or Teferi. Mountain Pass, wow. Okay, there is a blue source. And I think I just want to Thoughtseize my opponent. Try to clear the way for Psychic Frog next turn. Seizia. Reb, Force, Snap, Flame, 4th Aerolingus. Okay, Force of Will and Reb both answer Psychic Frog, but Reb does it better. If I just wait a turn, I could beat the Force. I'm going to take the Reb and pass. There's the island and a pass. Okay, sweet. Now I don't even have to use my Sink into Stupor, and I can get the selection out of Undercity Sewers. Wow, we're just raw dogging Snapcaster. Gotta get your beat somehow. This turns on Flame of Anor for both modes, I guess. I mean, Lightning Bolt? I don't want to do that. Do I want to do that? No, I don't. If they have a white source right now, this could actually be scary if they just go off with 4th Aerolingus, like make a horse here, have 2 creatures to attack with now. They tapped their mana, then untapped it. That was weird. I'm going to bolt this Snapcaster. I don't want them having Flame of Anor value. And now that this is in play, the 4th Aerolingus gets better. Okay, fetch 4 Undercity Sewers. And now that Snap Reb is off the table, I can be a lot more aggressive with the Frog. I just have reasonable hopes that this is going to work. They missed on white mana, which means they have at least 1 blank card in their hand right now. And if they drew a Swords to Plowshares or flipped a Terminus or anything in the last couple turns, that's also just frozen. Just give me a turn to operate with Frog. That's what I'm asking for. Let me connect 1 time. It'll be fine. Give me a little taste. Oh, wow. Now I have double protection. This is a Frog game. Let's play a Frog game. Frog game. Force pitching Jace. Pyroblast this. Didn't know about the Jace. We know 2 of their 3 cards in hand right now. If they rip a land, Flame can deal 5 to Frog, but I have the Force now. Any white cards in their hand are blank until they find a white source. And then they're all free, and I could be in a lot of trouble. They said in the chat, yep, guess it ends with a whimper. Okay, I mean, kept a 2-lander, missing a color with no card selection. Sometimes it happens that way, and the cost of doing business on basic lands is that sometimes they don't cast your spells, but you get to be resilient to Wasteland, and you get to play back to basics, so pro and con there. Scoop into Psychic Frog, though, which locks a positive record with Ancient Cellarspawn Grixis. And in all seriousness, this deck did just fine without the Cellarspawns and the Vile Smasher. It was mostly the legacy cards doing the work. However, these cards did deal damage. They were threats that had to be answered. We did have opponents play in ways that were weird to prioritize getting things off the table, which is sometimes invisible. It's hard to know what really your options your opponent had available to them other than killing Vile Smasher the Fierce. But this deck did hold its own, and we played against Blue-Black Reanimator 3 times this league. We beat it twice. That's pretty solid. As far as feedback on the list, I would probably go to 2 Cellarspawns, like 2 and 2. 4 of that effect is still good. You'll find it by the time you have enough mana to use it. Thoughtseize was a rock star this league. Maybe you want another one of those. I don't think you want another land. I felt really good about the lands. You could play a second Thought Scour to feed the Delve spells more aggressively. You can main deck a Nile Spellbomb. That's just the thing you can do in the format right now. You can play another Molten Collapse. That opens up a slot for, whatever problem you want to solve. This was a lot of fun to play. It was a lot of fun building it with Argold as well. And it's fun to do something a little off the beaten path and be mildly successful with it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.